Trevor Phillips is with me. A very good morning to you, Trevor. I mean, let's start with those numbers there, 55 against 23 amongst BME voters for Remain. What do you put that down to? Is a lot of it down to the leadership of the Leave campaign?
Well, morning, Graham. I don't think so. I think there are two basic reasons why people from minority backgrounds will favour Remain. First of all, intuitively, they're more global in their outlook. And the first thing they're going to think is, we live in a rough world, and actually we need to be part of a big group to be able to compete with China and America. And by the way, one of the things that I think is very important is that, particularly in the Commonwealth, governments from countries in the Caribbean, Africa and India say, we need Britain in the EU because you are our gateway to this market of 500 million. And I think that weighs heavily with people. And the other point I suppose I would make is that if you look at who's lining up for us to leave, it is true that most of the people involved in that campaign, most people who support it across Europe, are people who are not that keen on immigrants, or immigration, I should say, and that intuitively I think most people from minorities will say, well, these people don't really want us here, and actually, if we were to leave, who are going to be the people who are most likely to be denied job opportunities in the EU without Britain, Germany, France and so on? It's going to be people whose ancestors weren't born in
And Trevor,
Europe.
there's that argument from some Leave campaigners not cut any ice, which saying, well, you know, if we were able to limit migration from within the European Union, then it would be an opportunity to treat the rest of the world, and in particular Commonwealth countries, more fairly when it comes to immigration.
Well, look, you know, people of colour are pretty smart. I mean, these people like my parents travelled a long way in hard circumstances to get here to have a better life. They're not easily taken in. So when somebody, for example, like my friend Nigel Farage says, oh, look, you know, this is going to be much better for people from the Commonwealth, the question I want to know is, what do the Brexit people think it's going to be like on the other side? Do they really mean that we're going to shut out 250,000 EU migrants and then instantly admit 250,000 people from Pakistan or Nigeria? I really want to hear Nigel tell his supporters that that's what he means by Brexit. Haven't heard it yet, but, you know, I'm up for it.
But, I mean, it must be said, and we heard it in AFWA's report, don't we, that, you know, like all communities in the UK, there are concerns about numbers. There are concerns about pressure, in particular, on public services by numbers.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. And indeed, people from minorities themselves are just as tough-minded on the question of immigration numbers. But the question is, would Brexit help us? No, because the reason we've got a lot of immigrants is because we have a vibrant economy that needs people to do the jobs, particularly in the public service. We know that actually all the economists tell us that, in fact, it's not a drain on our economy, but it does create issues to do with infrastructure, schools, railways and so on. And the way to solve that is by investment in those services, and particularly, by the way, by putting more money into training of people who are born here, because that's a real problem. I think that's the thing that really scratches with people, whether they are white or not white, recent immigrants or not, that somehow there are clever Polish or Czechoslovakian young people coming, getting jobs, and our young people aren't getting the opportunity. The answer to that is not Brexit. The answer to that is better training. And
the broad point, whatever your views are in whatever community, you can't express them at the ballot box unless you're registered to vote. There's a big push now, isn't there, to make people aware of that?
This is the absolutely big thing. We want to make sure that everybody, whatever their point of view, everybody gets out there and expresses their opinions. And it's important for minorities to feel this isn't somebody else's business.
Just a quick thought on that poster. It's a bit stereotypical, isn't it? You know, this is your thoughts?
Right. Well, let me be absolutely honest. This is not the poster I would have chosen. I think what they're trying to do is to provoke people to come out and vote. Good intention, maybe not the greatest execution.
All right, Trevor, great to see you as ever. Thank you very much indeed. Trevor Phillips there.